What in the fuck is that?
We're born in the moonlight. Ain't a fantasy. Can't breathe in the sunlight.
Hello, Romas. This is Aromie here. Welcome back to Changeling, not Seven Scarlet. I don't know how many times I'm gonna accidentally say Seven Scarlet. We're here, kidnapped by our brother and our psychologist. Or why so few people knew what happened. Grant and Spencer figured out where to look for me based on what the others were up to or something. Because apparently Grant was a stalker and I don't know, I was fuzzy on the details. I just gathered that Grant was keeping an eye on someone, or keeping an eye on some people, and when they started acting funny, he'd worked out they were looking for me. Once they figured out my general location, he and Spencer started looking for me while avoiding the others. I kind of started remembering some things. My memories were still a bit broken up though, but I remembered a purple-haired boy named Elliot. When they said that name, quite a few embarrassing images popped into my head. I was trying not to think too hard about those, and there was something about a cat, a weird cat. Excuse me, a cat I didn't like, which was odd in and of itself, because I typically did like cats. A boy in a red jacket and a grumpy blonde guy too, and Allie. She was also somehow involved in everything. Ugh, but so many missing pieces still, and it was hard to really think of anything else when my brother and Grant Mitchell were standing by the door arguing about me. Apparently my lack of surprise over the eggshell thing was really upsetting for them. None of it is working. You said this would work. Are you sure about what you read? It was in her own journal. It's possible she tried to mislead you. They were definitely arguing about me, but honestly I was completely lost. Since we got here, they subjected me a litany of what I can only describe as tests. They touched my shoulder with a pair of scissors, a four-leaf clover, threw a shirt on my head, a shirt I was pretty sure was my dad's. Also pretty sure Spencer got it from the hamper because it smells sort of gross. And then there was this whole eggshell thing. But if they were tests, I had no idea what they were trying to test. It was getting pretty late though. I mean, the sun was already going down, or was already down. And the light was fading pretty fast. I wasn't sure how long they planned for us to stay out here doing their weird rituals, but I was getting pretty fed up with it. Slaughter wasn't exactly the safest of places at night, if you believe the stories anyway. Look, we still have a couple of things to try. We can't say how accurate any of this research is, even if her notes were true. I wanted to get it over with. I want her back. Let's just do what I said to do from the start. Hey, I'm right here. If you want me back, maybe untie me. And I might not tell Mom and Dad you did this. I'm totally telling them. Spencer shot me a venomous look that instantly silenced me. Not you. Just wait. We're not ready for something that extreme just yet. He went back to a large duffel bag near some wooden pallets and pulled something else out of it. A bunch of weeds. Okay, then looked to me like he was opting for more weird tests. Sure enough, he brought it to me and crouched down. This would be a lot easier if he just cooperate. Not really sure what you're expecting me to do. Grant nodded to the eggshell on the tea burner. Any thoughts? Yeah, I think that thing's about to catch fire, so you might want to blow that little candle out, just saying. He scowled and shoved a bunch of weeds against my face. I grimaced and turned my head away to avoid getting a mouthful of some ambiguous plant. Painful. No, it's just annoying like you. Wait, that's St. John's wort, right? St. John's wort. Why on earth? She's allergic to that. I eyed the plant curiously. St. John's wort. Their voices faded as another memory tried to surface. St. John's wort. That was a fairy bane. It was like a clap of thunder went off in my head. Fairies! They both gave me a startled look, but I was barely paying attention to them. Everything came back to me in a rush. Oh my god, I was a fairy. I mean, I was previously, or was I still? Brenna threw that potion in my face, and then everything went black, and then I woke up in the wet saloon. There had been a weird sensation like flying, and there were voices singing something sad that sounded like a lament, and then I woke up. But what was that? What had she done to me? She said it would solve my problem, but the only problem was that I was a changeling. Oh my god, that's what we're trying to do here. The water and eggshells, the iron. They were trying to get the changeling to reveal itself. Me to reveal myself as a changeling, except it wasn't working. Was that because I wasn't a changeling, or because Brenna had done that thing with the potion? I'm so confused. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? I glared at him. This was a stupid crusade to prove the paranormal. That's what this was about. None of your damn business. Let me go. And Spencer, are you crazy? He snarled and grabbed my jacket, slamming me against the pillar. Don't call me that. Then don't kidnap me. You don't want to be called crazy and then don't act like it. Okay, come on. He tried to pull Spencer off me. Spencer reluctantly let me go, shoving me against the pillar one last time. Let's try a different approach. If this stuff isn't working, we're going to try something a little stronger. We need to get some kind of reaction. You know what I think we should do? Not quite ready to set her on fire yet, thank you. I'm sorry, did you say set me on fire? They were kidding, right? But at the same time, there were their stories. There were stories about throwing a changeling on hot coals to get rid of it. They weren't really thinking of doing that, right? Even if I was a changeling, how could they even consider that? Spencer was giving me that same hateful look, the one that told me he was dead serious. Oh my god. Just wait here with her. I'm going to bring some tools back. We will get her to reveal herself. Bitch, the girl's gone. Changeling's gone. And we will get your sister back. Let's not do anything irreversible just yet. Remember, Grant, I don't care about your proof. I hope you know that. I just want my sister back. Grant shot me a look, then gave Spencer a curt nod before he headed outside. I had no idea where he was going, but he left me alone with Spencer, and I wasn't sure I wanted to be alone with him at the moment. Still, this was my only chance to get him on my side if he'd listen to me. Spencer. Try to convince him to at least untie you? Fuck no, he ain't gonna do that. He's not gonna do that. Make him believe that you're yourself. You have to listen to me, okay? Okay, the music's horrible. You have to just give me a chance to explain what I know, now that I've remembered. Nothing you can say is going to convince me. Just listen! For once in your life, listen to me. You're right that I thought I was a changeling, but I had no idea anything was abnormal about me until we moved back here. I know you don't believe me, or believe that, but it's true. And you're right, that club is weird. Ever since I found out what was really going on up there, I've been researching about myself, about what happened 5 years ago. Why else would I keep that journal? What other purpose would it serve unless I was looking for answers? It looks like you found your answers then. If you found out what you are, then why are you still here? Why not go back to where you came from and get my sister back? I think I did, or something. I don't know. Look, you know Brenna from school? What does she have to do with this? She's Fae. If you read my journal, then you accept things like fairies being real. It's not just because of that journal. Listen, after I ran away from you at the school earlier, Brenna found me. She threw some kind of liquid on me. I think she was trying to make the Fae reverse the changeling thing. And look, my hair is longer than it was, right? It has to be related somehow. I did notice that. Brenna said that I couldn't assume I understood what a changeling was just because I read some books, and she wouldn't tell me anything else because she said she didn't want a human to know fairy secrets. Why would she say that if I was also Fae? Huh? We're missing something, a huge piece of the puzzle, because otherwise it doesn't make sense. There are too many things that don't fit. Let's get out of here while Grant is gone. Find Brenna, ask her. No! I don't know that I can believe you about the Brenna thing. I didn't see her in the woods with you earlier. Grant said, who cares what he said? All he wants is his proof. You think he wants the same answers you want? He's using you because you and I are a convenient way for him to get what he wants. If you let me go, I promise you will find answers. I'll tell you everything I know and what I don't know. We'll find out together. Come on, this isn't you. Tying me up, threatening me, hurting me. You're not a bad person, Spencer. Don't do this. You're wrong. I'm not a bad person. I'm a terrible person. The worst. What are you talking about? He crouched down, grabbing my hair and yanking back. It's my fault you took her in the first place. Did you think I'd forget that? Spencer, stop it. I don't know what you're talking about. He released me and stepped back, clutching his hand to his chest like touching me burned him. You know exactly what I'm talking about. That night, that hill. Hill? I've dreamed about it all this time, even more since we got back. I remember what happened back then. I remember. Spencer, what are you talking about? I went inside it. You wouldn't let me go. Wait, what? Until Michiko came and agreed to take my place. Then you monsters came and took her away, and you gave us an imposter in her place. I agreed to take his place. In a hill. Realization slowly dawned on me. A hill. There had been a hill by our old house, one where we used to play in Spencer. That's right. You went inside and were gone. How could I forget about that? You were missing for days, and I was with Grandma while the others searched. But I sneaked out to go find you, and when I got there, they wouldn't let you go. But I begged them, and they said I'd have to stay instead, so I promised. But wait, they let us both go home after that, though. I thought they were going to let me stay. But that wasn't what happened, was it? One night there was one terrifying night. They showed up in our room, so many of them. I remember staring up at them from my bed, so many strange faces, twisted, distorted, some ugly and terrifying, and some beautiful. A pale face flashed through my mind. Wild white hair, curved black horns, and icy eyes that felt like they could freeze you in place. I remember staring up at them and feeling like I was being split in half and pulled into a bottomless well. But then I was back in my bed again, and nothing changed. This doesn't make any sense. I remember everything from before that night. I remember going to find you. I remember so many other things from when we were little, Spencer. That time you fell out of Allie's treehouse and broke your arm. That happened before that night. Other things. Reading books in Grandma's study. That time you hid an Easter egg in the house to surprise Mom and Dad, but no one found it for weeks, and the whole house smelled like rotten eggs for a month after. If I'm fake, why do I remember all those things? Spencer faltered. But at the same time, I remember everything after that night as well. I'm telling you that we're missing something here. Something about how changelings work. Spencer, let me take you to the club room. We'll get someone else to help us. Brenna definitely knows something. Even the murder might be able to help. But I can promise you the one person who doesn't really want help is Grant. All he wants is proof. You know that. He wants proof no matter what that means. I will help you get answers. I swear, because I want them too. Listen to me, Spencer! He hesitated, and for a long moment I thought he wasn't going to listen, but he finally moved closer and carefully untied my feet first. Yeah, listen to me, bitch. I could almost feel the reluctance to untie my hands, but he did it regardless. Spencer, come help me with this. Well, fuck, that didn't take long at all. It both started at the sound of Grant yelling from outside. Spencer glanced toward the door apprehensively. Looked like my window of opportunity had evaporated. He stood and glared down at me. Don't run, Grant is armed. I don't think he'll hesitate to stop you. Well, isn't that charming? He is so getting fired after this. I hope you know. He shot me a scathing look as he retreated outside. I stood at the moment he was gone, trying to decide if it was worth risking it. That could have been a bluff after all. I rubbed my wrist as I limped over to the dusty window, urging blood back to my poor feet faster. What do I do now? He'd untied me, but that wasn't going to do much good if I just stayed here and wait for whatever Grant had planned. A slight movement in the corner of the window caught my eye. A black spider with spindly... It's Elliot! Spindly legs and bulbous black body. Black Widow? We didn't really have those in the area. I don't know why, but I immediately thought of Elliot. Elliot, could it be? I glanced over my shoulder and leaned down, not wanting to get too close to a creepy venomous spider, but also, wanting to be close enough for a conspiratorially whisper just in case. Elliot? I had no idea how to read spider behavior, so I couldn't tell if it stopped moving because it was planning to jump on my face and bite me, or if it was because the spider was my vampire friend waiting to hear what I had to say. Well, either my situation has deteriorated to the point where I'm talking to a spider, or you're my only real hope for help. So, just so you know, Spencer and Grant are here. They're trying to do a changing test to make me prove my identity. I'm not sure what they're planning next, but, help and all that. The spider scrabbled back against the glass and I jerked away, barely biting back a scream. Didn't know if it was Ellie or just a creepy spider, but I was never getting that close to a black widow ever again. For something so tiny, those things were distressingly intimidating. I didn't get to contemplate next steps after sending off a possible SOS via spider. Outside, there was a loud crash and an ungodly scream. Grant? I ran to the door, imagining a huge swarm of black widows descending on us or something. What I saw was way worse. What in the fuck is that? Whoa, dude, no. Nope. What the hell is that? The scene before me was definitely not what I expected. Grant was by the car trying to fend off a thing. A shadowy, snarling creature that looked like something that had once been human. It's the feral! Spencer was basically having a screaming meltdown of extreme helpfulness some distance away, and well, I didn't blame him. Grant was doing his best to keep the thing at bay with a large stick. I was dubious how long that was going to last, and because I have always had a reputation for being a complete genius in these sort of situations, I rushed outside and straight toward him, because I didn't think it was the best course of action to cower inside and let it eat the two of them, if only because that left me for dessert. Spencer, get inside! I gave him a shove as I passed by, not that he actually moved, idiot. In the meantime, wait, how am I free? I thought he only freed my legs. So how am I free from everything else? In the meantime, I looked around for something, anything to use as a weapon, because I didn't think taking my shoes off and throwing them was going to help much. At any rate, the ruckus I was causing definitely attracted attention because the creature abandoned Grant and started lumbering toward me. Shit's ugly. No. But it's worse than the other black blob. My legs swelled as I unexpectedly faced down. The very thing that had been murdering people for weeks now. Feral. I could see why it was called that. Hi. My voice came out as a hoarse squeak. I took a rapid succession. What? Yeah, right. Succession of steps backwards, unsure what to do next. Sorry to interrupt, but stop! You can't shoot that thing. Can you? Is it in the spirit? I clapped my hands to my ears near the panic at the unexpected sound of gunfire. The pharaoh staggered forward, its body jerking slightly as apparently several shots hit it in the back. For all the good that did, because it was just swung its head back toward Grant as if it couldn't decide which of us to eat first. What it didn't do was, die. I figured. or fall over, or at all indicate it was subdued in any way. Is it bleeding at least? And I don't know, suddenly I was just so pissed off. Spencer and I were both in danger because of that moron over there, who was already bleeding everywhere, thank you very much. I managed to hurl myself into some kind of outrageous situation, act as a distraction, and Grant had a... Oh god, he is bleeding everywhere. Grant had a freaking gun, and he was still useless. It felt like a flame had been lit inside me. I barely realized what I was doing as I clenched both fists and just screamed in frustration. And there was an explosion of, something. It went whirling away from me, and a blast of boiling air that reeked of thunder. The force of it nearly threw me on my butt, but I managed to stay upright and watch that feral thing go flying. It left a trail of black goop as it tumbled into the brush, and, well, I didn't know if that was blood or swamp ooze, but I wasn't sure it really mattered. Grant managed to brace himself against the car. I heard the sound of glass breaking, but was only dimly aware it was his windshield. To be honest, I was sort of shocked that had happened at all, because it definitely wasn't intentional. I stood there, frozen in disbelief. Grant definitely had a stronger sense of self-preservation than I did. He scrambled to his feet and staggered toward the building, grabbing my arm as he passed. He dragged both Spencer and I back inside. What now, dude? And I suppose I ought to be grateful he didn't leave us to the feral, because I was pretty sure I hadn't killed it. Then again, we might all still become lunch, because the building was definitely not going to provide much shelter with the whole locked door thing it had going on. What is that thing? How should I know? Well, I was feeling really woozy after that. I leaned against a pillar, doubled over, and tried not to puke. This place is not secure. I heard the sounds of him reloading that useless pistol. There's not even a front door. Spencer grabbed my arm, shaking me slightly. Do something! Tell it to leave! I don't speak, monster! I hit him each time he spoke. He put up his hands to fend me off. I'm about 5 seconds from projectile vomiting in your face, so stop shaking me. Stop hitting me! Grant caught my hands, pulling me away from Spencer. This isn't helping. Neither are you! This is your fault in the first place. He shrugged out his jacket and yanked his sleeve up. There was a rather distinctive bite mark on his forearm. That thing bit you? Grant looked down at his arm grimly. Yeah, and I think there's more than one. What happens now? Well, if Grant starts trying to eat our brains, we'll just knock him out with something. Grant gave me a pained look. I just shrugged. There was a low growl from the door, and Spencer screamed. My head nearly split in two at the sound of it, as my brain apparently tried to escape out of my eyes to get away. Shut up! Another blast of magic ripped its way out of me painfully. This time I did hit the ground, gripping my head as every window left the building rattled in the panes. The feral let out a scream. It sounded like it had been knocked back outside again. Unfortunately, Grant and Spencer were also picking themselves up out of the dirt. Well, shit, I'm just tearing them up. This is where we're going to stop for today's episode, though. Well, no one's to my rescue yet, but I am having explosion heads. My brain's exploding with powers that I can't control, and it's really hurting me. And we're surrounded by ferals, because Grant said there's more than one. Unless he's assuming that he might change into one, which I don't think he will. I think he's just gonna lose some blood. That's about it. But anyway, thank you guys for watching today's episode. Stay beautiful, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
You touch it, touch it, touch.